right, we'll call this meeting to order. It's the July 13th, 2026 meeting of the Woodstock Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency. It's a regular meeting. We'll start with a roll call. It's Bill Rowinski
Stuart Peasley.
Grace Letty.
and Marla Butts is here. I can see her and she's giving me a thumbs up. Okay, appointment of alternates. We don't have Kathy Barrick for regular member here, and Mark's not here to appoint as an alternate, so we'll move on. Action of the minutes of the previous meeting of June 1st, 2026. Does anybody have any corrections or changes?
I did
I,
not, I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything, and Marla is shaking her head also. So I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll
I
make
move, I move to approve the minutes as submitted and reviewed.
second.
Okay, the motion by Stuart Peasley, seconded by Grace Letty to approve the minutes as presented with no corrections. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Aye.
And Marla is saying yes also, aye. And so it's unanimous. So we'll move on to the next item. Number 5, citizens' comments. And this is the time that for brief comments on anything that is not already on the agenda. So if somebody would like to speak for a few minutes on something that's not on the agenda, now is one of your times. Oh, Kathleen's getting on too, so. Okay, not hearing anything, we'll move on to the first item, pending applications. Application 05-26-001, Eastford Road, Route 198, map 5709, block 02, lot 03B, Livia Yao, improve existing driveway to provide access to new single-family home site. Is there anyone here representing this party?
Yes, that would be me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, my technology is not working very well. My computer, for some reason, my camera isn't working, so I'm on my phone. So if you
Yep.
can hear me and see me okay, that's good.
Yep.
So I'm here again representing Olivia Yaw and Justin Pierce. Also here tonight is our engineer, Dave Smith, PE, also on the Zoom call, helping with the engineering aspects of this application. Uh, we've made some modifications to the plan and technically to the application, um, in that the our client. Can you hear me okay? I'm getting feedback on my end.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Um, the client is desiring not to disturb the woodlands that would be to the left of the proposed house where the original septic system was proposed to go. Apparently, there are a number of sizable trees and woods that they want to protect. So they would like the septic system placed in the open field area next to where they're proposing their house. So we have added a septic system design to the plan, uh, and shown it. It appears on sheet one, the site plan, the overall site plan. And we're currently going to be going through the health department approval process, because they've changed how they want to do this. We've scheduled soil testing, which will happen actually this week on Wednesday. and we should be able to get that approved pretty quickly. It's just outside of the area where it was originally tested, so we can't use those original tests and have it be adequate for the health department. So the other major change that we have made is that we're going to employ um, some wetlands matting, which we've used before on other projects, to help to minimize the wetlands disturbance with the crossing. I have Dave Smith here tonight to give you a little bit more detail on how that works. The the details of the matting application are provided on sheet 3, which is a series of details showing how the matting will work in the area of the proposed crossing.
So Bruce, why don't I give a little bit of detail on how we got to where
Sure.
we're at? Okay. For the
Yeah,
record,
absolutely.
my name is David Smith. I'm a professional engineer and licensed land surveyor, working with Bruce at Paul Archer's office. And after your last meeting, there was questions raised regarding the practicality of, just showing a little bit of line work and getting from the highway to their future home site. So the starting on the left of that additional sheet that you didn't have last month, but you do now, shows an alignment, stationing, kind of help to tie down for layout, stakeout, and then construction of how we are going to satisfy the DOT's requirements for a nice, gentle, level-ish pad at the road and actually get through the wetlands to the other side with the minimum footprint. So,
Can I interrupt you for a minute?
yes,
I don't have sheet 3 with my things. I have the revised plan and the detail page. But I don't have the sheet 3. Is there any way you could, or somebody else could share that with us?
it, John has it. I don't know if Dan can access it. I can dig into see if I can find something to share with you. Hang on 1 minute.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that.
Are you seeing it now though?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Then let me rejoin the meeting. Yeah. Okay. So on the left-hand side is the first detail that basically just shows a layout with some existing contours, the limit of the wetlands, the existing pipe, the new pipe, and stationing basically or commencing at the edge of the road and running into the property. The second detail in the middle is the one that I think is key to making sure that this is a successful crossing. That is the area that we're proposing gets manipulated a little bit, kind of dressed up, filter fabric placed down over top of the remaining wetland soil, and then that becomes the barrier to keep any of the fines or organic material from pumping up into the select material that we're going to use to create this driveway base. I've done this successfully several times on projects that were ultimately paved with, because the mat becomes a very large foundation, if you will. Truck loading, construction activity, fire engines, those sort of things can reliably pass over top of it. And it preserves a distinct barrier between the native organic soil and the imported material. It's only for that area where we're working in the wetlands. Once you get back up onto the hillside, the fill materials is placed on just a prepared subgrade. And the third sheet shows basically the details of finish grades. We lost a little bit of the shading and the drafting, but the sidewalls are protected with riprap. that transitions out as you approach the non-wetland soils. And down at the bottom of the sheet, you should see two details. One is the cross section. That is the graph on the left is starting at the highway on your left, running into the property. The proposed culvert sits on top of the map at the current elevation. So we've oversized it and made it level so that water, amphibians, whatever, can travel back and forth. And then made the low spot or the sag in the driveway to be out beyond that crossing so that any water that leaks off either from the surface of the driveway or flows back from the driveway head to the house can be controlled in an area where it's a little shallower. The next section is, or detail shows the wetlands mat, how it's composed. We're proposing to take out approximately 8 inches of the existing soil, any sharp rocks, stumps, roots, that sort of thing, anything that would be otherwise unsuitable in a fill situation. Put the mat down, then replace that volume with banker and gravels, and then set the pipe, continue to fill around the shoulders of the pipe, and then the top surface would be just processed aggregate, riprap on the side slopes. And there's some notes that accompany this that talk about the materials. To say it's a little more effort than just bringing in dump trucks full of gravel, but I think it's going to provide a long and very serviceable driveway for the homeowners and for emergency services, whatever. So that's kind of a nutshell of how this project evolved in our office since your last meeting. I hope that I'm certainly happy to field any questions that you might have.
Marla,
Breaking up, Bill.
I'm asking Marla's phone if you might have some comment. She's on two different devices.
Well, we're nothing if not adaptable, that's for sure.
And do you see Marla's phone?
She should be rejoining. I've got her on the roster twice.
The 860-597-78.
No, her name twice.
Okay, she's got, yeah, okay, but I don't know that she can be heard. See if I can hear a picture.
Can you hear me now?
Very
Yeah,
well.
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so I logged off my main computer and I'm now on my laptop. So,
Okay. Do you have some comments about this, Marla?
yeah, I checked out the geotextile and it is a road stabilization geotextile and should work just fine for distributing the weight. So I don't have any problems with the application. I did note that we were supposed to have some hydraulics, but they're going from a 12 to a 24-inch, and my recollection was it wasn't a very large watershed at all, pretty small.
It's at that point, it's a tiny little watershed. I was there on Wednesday of last week. You recall we had Monday and Tuesday quite a bit of rain. There was a little bit of water moving from right to left. This is more than adequate for that, and it won't have any potential to impound water and flood the neighbors or otherwise delay the movement from one side to the other.
Do you know what the contributing watershed is?
I think it goes down as far as the neighbor's driveway. There's a little bit of swale. Bruce, that swale, does that run back towards the north, or is that where it breaks?
You talking about at the south end of the property?
Yeah, there's a neighboring driveway there that you said that would look like a swale of sorts.
Yep. So the swale continues up towards the neighbor's driveway within 10 feet of the property line. And on the other side of the driveway, there's like just a small area, maybe about 50 feet square, where there's a little bit of a depression. And then the hill rises up sharply and uh, goes in both directions, facing the road and facing back to the east. The watershed is very, very small in that area.
So are we talking less than 10 acres?
Yes.
Oh yes, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
I don't have any problem with this application.
Anybody else have questions or comments?
So I have a procedural question.
Yep.
This originally started as a driveway application, and it occurred to several of us that showing why we have a driveway and work in upland review for the home site might be beneficial for you folks to, at least see why we're doing it and weigh in as if there were comments or concerns regarding sediment erosion control, that sort of thing. Has this application been modified to include that work? Is there a separate effort there? John and Paul talked, and I don't know how that got resolved. Dan, do you know? You're muted.
I'm not involved beyond the minutes these days.
Okay. Is
So-
John not available then, or is he?
He's not available for a little while. Oh,
Okay, well, we may.
Dan,
That
could you
that
go
was
to
the whole
page
point of
7?
showing an actual septic system design, site plan development. That's this modified sheet you have on the screen now.
Don't you have NDDH approval for this design?
Not for this design. The original location was approved years ago for a different application, but the homeowner would like not to disturb those trees. So that's why we've shifted the septic system and leaching field out into that meadow area.
So given that, since I had problems with my computers, I couldn't be listening to all the discussion about the septic. We really should have NDDH's approval for the current design.
Well, soil testing is on Wednesday. We'll be submitting the application Friday, I assume. But knowing that this is also forthcoming, that's why I just wanted to, full disclosure, let you guys know that there's the reason for the driveway crossing is for this activity, and this is how it's starting to shape up. So.
Is there procedurally, is there any way that we could get approval for the driveway crossing tonight and conditional approval based on getting an approval letter from the health department?
Thinking, Marla Butt speaking. Because the application was received for the driveway crossing, the septic system's in the upland review area, which doesn't have NDDH's approval. A permit could be issued, I think, for the driveway crossing on the condition that no construction be initiated until such time as the wetlands office receives the NDDH approval for the septic system.
That would satisfy, right, Bruce? I mean, I think that gets us.
Yeah, that's
That
very
would
fair.
that would be great if you could do that.
Well, you couldn't start construction until the agency confirmed that NDDH has approved this design.
I think we can get that turned around pretty quick, so I don't know that would be a limiting factor for clients.
Oh, it looks like John has rejoined us.
I'm back. Hi. Sorry, I was delayed.
All right.
We're just talking now about, I think you and Paul Archer had a conversation about the site development work and the upland review and how that might marry with this current application for the driveway or not. And I was not at the office today, so I don't know how that actually played out. What did you have come up with a strategy?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
I had not had any conversations with Paul Archer about the site development plan.
Okay. All right. Well, right now
Oh.
we've got a proposal. The health department's going to do some confirmation test holes, and then we'll get an approval for that for the layout that's on the screen at this time. I'm gathering, I think Marla's indicated she's okay with the wetlands crossing for the driveway. I don't want to speak for other commissioners if they have comments or concerns, but I think that part has been addressed. Am I correct?
Yes.
So this site had a driveway crossing at this location, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So you're just upgrading the existing crossing.
Right, bringing it into compliance with state and town regulations.
Mhm. I don't know how other commissioner agency members feel about issuing a conditional approval or waiting until next month to see if you've got NDDH's approval for the current septic system design.
Well,
Can't hear you, Bill.
sorry, Bill Rowinski, I think we can move forward with the conditional approval. Anybody else have any comments from wetlands? Grace or Kathy or Stuart?
I don't feel like I have enough of a knowledge base to really make a comment. It looks like it makes sense to me. Whoops, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. It looks like it makes sense to me, so if you're asking for approval for the two, the time this month and then the next time next month and then it pulls together, or they have to wait all until next month. I don't have any strong feeling about either one of those either.
Comments?
This is Grace Luddy. I would just say if we get to the same point in a more efficient way by giving a conditional approval, that sounds good.
Stuart?
I have no problem with it.
Okay.
So Bill, willing to make a motion? Okay. I move to approve application 05-26-01 Eastford Road, Route 198, map 5709, block 02, lot 03B, Livia U, to improve an existing driveway to provide access for a new single-family home. Such work is to occur within the upland review area for the home and the septic system on the condition that no regulated activity be initiated prior to the Wetlands Agency receiving written approval from the Northeast District Department of Health for the proposed current septic system design.
Second.
Motion by Marla Butt, seconded by Stuart Peasley to approve the application 05-26-01 with the condition that approval from NDDH needs to be submitted to the office before any work can be done. The actual details can be found from the recording of Marla's motion. Does anybody else have any other questions or any other discussion on this now?
I'm glad I didn't have to make that one. That was a little complicated.
Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
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 Bill, I have
Opposed?
one question after, I'm
Okay,
sorry,
go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to interrupt, but after this is done, I just wanted to know what's the difference in line A, it says to provide access to NSFH site. And then on the other applications, we've got NSFR. So I'm assuming that's new single family residence.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I used residence and house interchangeably. Was new single
Okay.
family residence, new single family house. Sorry.
All right. So it should be NSFR.
The motion said single family residence.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Do
just
we-
a
do we
comment for
interchange those?
Stu. For future reference, I think those words should be spelled out, not truncated, because you didn't know what that contraction meant. So I think
Yep.
it should always be spelled out, whether it's new single family home or new single family residence, just for future reference.
I agree.
Me too.
Stick with one or the other. So we're consistent. But if it's going to be spelt out, that's going to be acceptable also. All right, we didn't have anybody opposed and nobody abstained, so the motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, moving on. For two new applications. This way. Application 06-26-01, 523 Route 169, map 5781, block 52, lot 10, Town of Woodstock Palmer Arboretum Committee, work in wetlands to correct drainage. Okay, who's going to drive on this one?
Yes, good evening. My name is Philippa Paquette. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. I'm the chair of the committee for the Arboretum. So I'm going to start by just introducing us. You have several members of the committee right here on the screen right now. But if you're unfamiliar with the Arboretum, it is a town-owned park that was one of the earliest arboretums founded in Connecticut. It was founded back by Minnie Palmer back in 1914, and it has a variety of trees and different areas. The application that you have in front of you indicates that have you all got the application?
Yes.
Good. That you indicate that we are very interested in improving the swale that we have restored. There are a number of things that we would like to do in this area. Basically, we are removing invasives and restoring wetland plants that are appropriate for the area. We are trying to make sure that the water that comes down through the rain garden is directed correctly, and that maybe this time around, our hopeful improvements will be retained. This is something that if you read through the minutes of previous meetings of the Arboretum Committee, this area has been a challenge for many different committees and has never been resolved. So I'm hoping that we have a plan this time that will resolve the issues and make this area both appealing, attractive, and appropriate. We have people here who know much more about it than I do. There is Tom Swale, who is somewhere on the screen, and Rick Canavan also. So I'm going to pass this over to Tom and let him talk about what you have there as the application. Any questions before I pass it over?
Excuse me, Bill, could you have John show the application on the screen? So as they're talking, we know what they're speaking of.
John, you want to start with that?
That works fine. My name is Tom Swale. I'm one of the members of the Palmer Arboretum Committee. And this is, the first screen. This actually is a blow up of aerial of the specific area that we're talking about. If I could, maybe first I'll let Rick talk a little bit about this, but then I could go back and give you an overview of the entire site so you have a bigger overall picture.
If you want me to, I can show the overall town area, the GIS, if we want to.
I have a plan that I could share as well.
That's fine. I'm happy to turn the screen share over to you if you'd rather, Tom.
Okay,
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So this is the overall property, which is actually kind of a mixture between the historic district commission and the Palmer Arboretum. And so the front part is driveway that comes around one way and on around the building and back out to Route 169. And behind this area is the arboretum is the back half of the property. It drops up the road. You're at an elevation. I don't know exactly what contour it is, but we drop off a little of about 100 feet from front to the back of the property. One of the common things between the two different sites is that there's a rain garden that was installed in this area that captures runoff from most of the pavement area. And that goes in here, travels through a pipe down to an outlet here, and then there's a channel which is basically filled with riprap, narrow, about 2 feet wide, comes down here, down to our area of interest. And this is the area that we'll be showing you a plan of. It has two little stone bridges here. What you're seeing here, the light color is what areas of the Arboretum are lawn, and the areas that are darker green are either planting beds with shrubs and ground covers, or other areas of unmown site. The blue here is depicting the time. We have a better image of this that I'll let John share in a moment. So anyway, the water comes down through here, crosses underneath this stone bridge, and connects down to here. And then over in this area, we have a little spring, natural spring. Water then blows year round, gets a little bit less in certain times of the year, like this coming summer, but it does travel down through this area, and it keeps all throughout the winter. You'll see water trickling down and underneath this bridge. So, and this area is showing a path that wraps around our site, that we're doing improvements to. So, John, could you go back to that previous image, and then I'll let Rick Canavan.
Sure. Can you stop your share, Tom?
Yeah.
While the screen is changing over, my name is Rick Canavan. I'm a professional soil scientist, resident of Pomfret, but used to live in Woodstock when I was a kid. I've been asked to help the Arboretum committee, because I am a soil scientist. So I've met Tom out there a couple of times, and once with John, to review this work area. did do some investigation of the soil around the proposed work area and have sketched in some well limits and the water course limit using this aerial. It matches what Tom was showing before. So there's flow coming off of the bottom of the slope where you saw from the other topo that it's a quite steep slope, and then there's a break where the steepness is less. So there's flow coming out of that slope, whether it's a spring or the riprap channel constructed from the rain garden, and then that flow moves downhill, which is to the right side of this page. There, when I was out there, part of it was looking at some work that had occurred. So, Tom and I were looking at the channel where there had been some activity. So, we're looking at how to make sure that stays stable while they're working in this area. There's a little bit of wetland bordering the water course on the, I guess it would be south side, so the bottom of the page, and there's more wetland to the north, and that follows the water course. It did not work on finding the limits of the wetland, particularly on the north side. It's pretty dense, and that's not the area of proposed work. So, maybe happy to be part of the discussion as, commissioners have questions about the wetland conditions out here, but there is both regulated water course and wetlands in this area.
Stuart Peasley here. I just have a question on the orientation. Is the aerial photograph and the map that we saw, are they both oriented towards the north, top of the page?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
This is Route 169 is up over here, going north to south, to the west of the screen. And
Okay,
yeah,
so
so
our
the
elevation
academy is to the north, the town hall is to the south, essentially.
elevation is pitched from left to right.
Yeah, high side left in this image.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to get my orientation so I understand the flow, and that the blue designation delineates intermittent water course flowing downhill.
Correct.
Okay.
From two different sources. From two
Question.
different sources.
Yeah.
At the terminus of the intermittent water course in the west, there seems to be a circular structure. It shows up on the 2023 aerial, shows up on yours, a little less distinct. What is that?
I don't know if I know any circular structure.
They're like that. I thought there was even maybe
Freestone?
I want to say even a table, but that's not it. But I'm trying to remember what was out there, but
Right. I don't know if this is useful. I'm zooming in on the aerial. Marla, do you want to describe roughly
Pull
where?
it down.
Yeah. I'm looking at the 2019 statewide aerial. You're out of no, there you go. So
Right here?
no, right towards the northern property boundary line.
Right
Go
there.
straight up, right there. Scroll into that. What is that?
I think, Marla, I believe
Yeah.
that is a table made from a catalpa tree that fell, and that a table and some wooden chairs were made into a seating area.
Okay.
But it's somewhat deteriorated right now because it was made several years ago.
I think that's right.
So does the spring pop out just to the east of that?
No, to the west.
Over here.
To the west of it?
Yeah.
Unless
This-
that circular area is the spring.
That's what I
No.
was wondering.
It's easier
That's
to
what it
see
looked like to me.
on a plan with topo. The topo change in slope is significant from where uh where
John,
these
turn on the topo.
Yep, that's where I'm headed.
You can see it. There's a flat area
Oh.
where that circular thing is.
Yeah,
Right
so it's
here.
just a little bit.
Yep.
I think the channel starts breaking out just to the west of the circle.
To the
You just-
west?
Yeah, the where the circle is, it's flatter, and
Yeah,
the water breaks out at the bottom of the slope.
like right in here,
Yeah.
Okay.
just to the south of that, Marla.
Yeah, I see that. I see the tonal change in the air photo would imply that the wetland system might actually be a little bit larger. So, Rick, did you do test holes?
I did. So the channel, some of the width you have, I think, is maybe either both shadow and then the fact that it's the two forks of this intermittent water course in that area. So the water course area is wider. I did do some test holes on the south side of the water course, and there is a little bit of wetland, which I approximated on that other image, but it's a smaller area.
So are the wetland soils confined pretty much to the channel?
There's some like that little pocket or there's some lower areas adjacent to the channel, so they're confined near the channel. It's not only water course. There's a few little low areas of soil next to the water course that are wetland soils.
Okay, but you didn't flag it, did you?
Did not. It was kind of both. There was like some disturbance. Knowing that we were not going to be surveying this, I did not put the time into flagging this whole thing.
So next question I have is, what is it does the Historical Society want to do that's a regulated activity?
It's not the
Amazing.
Historical Society, Marla. They are
I'm sorry, the
it's the Arboretum Committee.
Arboretum.
What we would like to do is to sort of maintain the swale and the path that we've established. That would be introducing perhaps some rocks to maintain that, and then in the area to add appropriate plants, wetland plants, to remove the invasives because this area got taken over by invasives. We would like to introduce it as an area of appropriate wetland plants that will attract, wildlife, butterflies, birds, just suited for the environment. We'd
What
like
is
to.
the nature of the channel improvement? Do you want to use machinery?
We
Or
would
is
like
this manual work?
we would like to bring in some rocks, and so there would necessarily be maybe some machinery that comes in at some point. Some of the rocks we can handle by ourselves. Tom, do you want to address that question because you really?
Yeah. Let
Tom,
me
You want
John,
to
let
share
me-
your screen again?
yeah,
Yep.
I do. Is that are you seeing that yet?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the overall plan. You can see here's the walkway that goes around the area. It's walkway is a mown path basically, and around that path here's just to give you orientation. Here's two existing stone bridges that are along that path, and here is an existing wooden bridge that goes across. So, and then here's your intermittent streamline. I placed this, transferred it from Rick's plan, so you can see it coming around here, around through here, wraps around, and then here's the wetland line that on this side and over here. So what we're proposing, the things that, most of this is it's either removing invasives or it's adding trees and shrubs and wetland and perennial plants. The things that would require machinery is somewhat unrelated, but there is a beech tree right here. It's this, maybe a little bit hard to see. It's because it's not colored. What we've done is we've did it just for, go back 1 second. All the existing trees we put in a muted green color, and proposed trees are in more of a brighter color. And then new lawn paths would be in this green tone here, and then any additional new perennial plantings would be in these toned areas, hatched areas. And then there's individual ones sprinkled throughout this area, and then the overall kind of buff colored hatch is areas that we would be, as we remove invasives by hand, we would be then back doing a wetland seed mix over that, all those areas that are in this buff color. As far as what we feel like we would need machinery for, it would be removal of this tree and then this new stone bridge here, which would have some larger stones as a base for it, and those stones are larger than you can do by hand, and we feel that they would just be dug in slightly so that they would down into maybe a foot deep or so, and allowing some good footing for this stone slab would also have to be placed by a truck, like a bucket truck. There are stones throughout here, which we don't have. We have a source for stone material, but we haven't picked out any stones yet. But we're thinking that some of them are large enough that we just can't do them by hand, and we'll have to have machinery place some of those. But we're able to adjust a little bit in that regards in our stone selection if doing it predominantly by hand or small machinery would make a difference.
So your access to placing the stone would be on the grass paths that you mow?
It would be from, well, right now it would be coming, through here. Let me just go back one moment here to this plan. So this, they would come down here. This is a gravel drive that almost has to be mown, come down around through this lawn areas to this area, and then I go back to plan. That's right here, and it would come right in through here from this side. We're hoping, and we haven't had anybody look at the tree yet, but we're hoping that the tree that needs to come down could be removed either by a bucket truck from this side and not have to cross over, because there really is you can't even get a mower across this path. We do have it mown, come through here, they cross over this bridge, they mow back around through here to this point, we weed whack between the two bridges, and they mow up to this side. So this is really the access path that we would be using, and then this would all then be planted following those operations.
Will you need to place fill for the new bridge?
I don't think so. We've already this everything is in kind of its current, lay of the land. We're just, we're gonna just we'd be seeding these areas, whether it be the lawn seed or we'd be doing the wetland seed mix. We might have to do hand raking and stuff to make it improve the seed bed. But yeah, that's
So we did not have these drawings presented to us as part of the application. We had pieces, 2 pieces, if you look at what was posted online. So this is the first that we're really seeing this.
Yeah, I was wondering when I saw John's sharing of it. So I don't know why that came through that way. But
I don't have a copy of the plan that's on the screen right now, Tom.
I'm sorry about that. It's
What is your timeline for this work?
well, we're hoping to get the stonework done this summer, and we're just coming rather quickly, and then be seeding in fall. Now, well, we have gone and so we've done some invasive removals, and so we've gone and done some temporary seeding of the area with annual rye, and we continue to do some invasive removal and just general maintenance of the plant material in this whole area, as well as the whole arboretum as a whole.
So Bill, the cutting of the vegetation, because it's not a clear cut, doesn't really require our approval or disapproval for that. They can go through and start removing the invasives, I think, without our permission.
Great.
Because they're not altering the natural indigenous character of the wetland or water course. But the
As
work
long as
on the intermittent water course, I think it would be useful if we could take a look at what the site conditions were, and that we have a chance to take a look at the full plan that we didn't get to see this time. Because I think, I don't know what the conditions are, what the erosion issues are, what the solution might be for fixing the erosion problem, whatever it is. And I don't know what's downstream from this.
Well, downstream from this is actually 3 more acres of what used to be the arboretum that got sold. But it used to be the Winnie Palmer's desire was to have the arboretum connect with Roseland Park, but it doesn't. And so basically it's woodland down to probably the golf course, I would think. But the 3 acres below the arboretum used to belong to the arboretum.
It looks like there might be a wetland system at the Toa slope of that hillside in the 3 acres that you're referring to. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, I don't know what's in there, except I know it's packed with invasives because we keep trying to push back the invasives over what is our limiting wall.
removing invasives, are you just cutting them or are you digging out the
We're
roots
pulling
and
them
all?
up. No, we're not just cutting, we are pulling them up.
Typically, that's not a problem for the small area of disturbance. I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure what plans beyond what we've presented to you tonight that you need to see.
I'm more concerned about the work on the intermittent water course
Mhm.
to get an understanding of what the current conditions are and what your proposal is to make alterations to it so that it'll do what you want it to do for you.
I think and I'm going to speak for myself, but I think this is correct, Tom. Is basically we are wanting to maintain the swale and the course without any more erosion, so that the stones we put in would prevent erosion and just allow the water to flow at the time of year when it's flowing. Because in the summertime, when it dries up, there's probably no flow at all. But again, you want it to be attractive because we want visitors who come to the Arboretum. It was designed to be for education, enjoyment, and enlightenment. That was the motivation for Minnie Palmer to develop this place. We would like it to be attractive at all seasons, whether there's water actually flowing through or whether it's dry. So I think, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea is to have some kind of a small rock base to prevent further erosion and some rocks on the side. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, the channel now has exposed, a lot of smaller stones, and you can see all the contours coming through it. Well, actually, excuse me, a lot of that's hatch, but it's a lot of, you can kind of see coming down this slope here, but even coming all the way down this channel, this slopes off quite a bit. So this area here from the bridge, we were putting some stone check dams in here, and the same thing on this side, and that comes into a flatter area here, which then we would like to supplement the native stone with additional, not stuff that would match the same character of that, which would be glacial stone that's not rounded, not river washed though material. And then the bridge would be crossing here in one of the narrowest areas of the intermittent stream, and then in the bottom of the this flatter area, we would use some stone in the bottom, flat stones, and then there would be additional flat stones underneath the bridge. But then you might get a little spillage there, maybe a little trickle of sound, and then this channel down here would be, it's more consistent in grade. Still drops off quite a bit, but we'll be adding stone to the bottom of that channel with some larger, small, hard pressed to call them boulders, but larger field stones along the perimeter.
I have a question. Are these stones implemented or installed by a stonemason, or is this just
No, it's not masonry. It's just meant to look like a natural edge, like a normal, well, not normal, but like a stream that has exposed stones.
So they're field stones.
Field stones, yeah.
And so it'll just be placed by hand.
As much as possible. I mean, if we can't use machinery, then it's going to limit the size of material that we can select. And and we can do that. We can use carts, hand carts, to bring a larger material down that can't be done strictly by hand.
Maybe many hands do it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's important because that really determines the level of detail in the scope of work. And, if you have machinery, then to what extent the machinery is operating can be a concern, as it might cause ruts, or, machines are heavy and they turn and move dirt, and it can be disturbance. as opposed to where you're just doing it with a cart and, leverage and muscle. That's another story altogether. But so I think I would suggest that there be a little bit more level of detail applied to the application just to delineate what that actually entails, if that makes sense. Because we don't know really what, it seems to be kind of ad hoc that this is being done. And I think it would be most importantly to the benefit of the Arboretum to have a more detailed plan. That's just my opinion.
Thank you, Stuart. I think that, one of the things that makes it seem more ad hoc is that the stones, we have a source of stones, but we haven't actually looked to see what stones are there.
Yeah.
What we can move by hand, what we can move by cart, what we could move in a small motorized vehicle. That's unclear to us at this point. What we want to know is, can we move the stones at all? Is that going to be okay with the Wetland Commission?
Well, again, in my view, what I see is that the answer is yes.
Great.
But then that could be opening the door to all kinds of issues that, really need attention.
Okay, thank you. I had somebody saying what?
Bill, this has come in as an individual application. And what I'm thinking is that it probably could be processed as a declaratory ruling, as a non-regulated use if we come to the conclusion that the proposed work does not alter the natural indigenous condition of the wetlands or watercourse, and that the work is conservation of soil and water. But I do think we need more detail, and I think it would be useful for the commission members to be able to go and take a look at the site individually once we get the complete drawings in hand, because we don't have the complete drawings. I had a problem trying to figure out exactly what was going on here when I saw the application. So since low flow occurs, the most lowest flow usually occurs in August. The groundwater table starts to rebound in September. So our next meeting is the 3rd of August. So nothing stops from the removal of the invasive species, because the amount of disturbance that would be from the removal of the species, because usually that's a manual kind of thing. They're not bringing in a dozer or something to do, major clearing. Because I've had to remove invasive species at my house, so I know what it's like to have to pull them up by the roots and get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that it would be best if they submitted the plans that we saw tonight, the full scale, that become part of the application, and that we consider this at next month's meeting, but let them go forward with the removal of the invasive species in the meantime. And then also in the meantime, they could figure out how many stones, what kind of machinery they're going to need to move it around to position it before them. So we'll have those details when they come in August.
I have to say that you are more than welcome to come and visit the Arboretum.
Yes.
In fact, every 3rd Friday of the month, we have volunteers. Chandler Paquette has invited any volunteer to come and help weed. So that you are welcome to come down and bring your weeding gloves and weed as well as you can see everything that's going on. 3rd Friday, not Thursday, sorry. 3rd Friday of the month. In fact, this coming Friday, we will be down there working, so you are welcome to come down. I'll be happy to give you a tour.
Marla, I'd have to agree with you. My own one concern would be whether the work that's being done is going to increase the velocity of the water going down that channel that might have an effect on the abutting property.
Won't know
But
until we see what the conditions are.
yeah,
Yeah. I have to say, just, during the spring this year, the only flow you had was, there was, we didn't see any rainstorms that had brought anything down well, here, let me just show you again. So just to reiterate, that water from the rain garden comes down a channel, and it's not shown on here, but it comes in right through here and goes underneath this stone bridge. And we have not seen any flow of at all throughout this entire spring. Over here, early in the year, in like January, the spring was bubbling up here, and you're probably getting, I mean, I a rough estimation, it might be like maybe 3 gallons a minute, something like that.
Mhm.
It's like a drinking fountain type thing. And then throughout the course of this summer, it has migrated back up into this area. So this is what the kind of flow we're talking about. There's no rush of water. I mean, most of this stone is designed to be more for decorative purposes, but it certainly will help with erosion. But I think it by looking at this, you might think, wow, there must be lots of erosion there. They're putting in all these big check dams. I differ from that. So
A question, do you get any drainage coming from Roxbury Road, which is located to the north?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so it looks like the contributing drainage area is really, really small, that we're only dealing with some sheet flow coming off from the land to the north, maybe, and then the spring itself.
I mean, it does slope a little bit to this way, but if anything, it gets captured by that riprap channel that comes down here. But
Mhm.
I don't know, Philip, have you ever seen any kind of? It all seems like sheet flow. I've never seen any kind of channels on this side of the property at all. And even through here, this is all just well manicured lawn. There's no channelization there at all.
Yep.
Any other water that comes down the driveway and would supposedly go through the rain garden.
Is
Yeah,
that where
most of
the
it is.
Doug Zimmerman sign is located?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Is that where the Doug Zimmerman sign?
The rain garden is Doug Zimmerman. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
right
that
about
is.
it.
Okay.
It's near the number 53. Where the cursor is now is about where the Zimmerman sign is.
Right. But there is water that comes down on the south side of the Historical Society building, and it doesn't actually go into the rain garden at the moment, but we're hoping to correct that.
Yeah, she's referring to this side here, so you can see these contours. They shed water off to this side, so we're getting some water going down this way, and we're hoping that we can get a curb from about in here up here to probably maybe here, maybe a little bit further, to keep that water on the driveway and flowing directly into the rain garden.
Right.
Well, you want to look at the condition of the rain garden to receive that additional water, because right now it looks like it sheet flows off towards what is that building?
Oh, this is the neighbor property here. There's a two houses house here.
Yeah.
Well, it was designed, from what I've heard, it was designed for all this pavement. So what we're doing is we're just getting the water that's intended and designed to flow into the rain garden to flow into the rain garden, as opposed to
the design of the rain garden.
Gene Pillar.
Okay. So you should have some plans for that, right?
We do, yes.
Okay. Well, Bill, I'm going to move that application 06-26-01, 523 Route 169, map 5781, block 52. That should be lot 9B, not lot 10, as stated on the agenda, but lot 9B by the town of Woodstock Palmer Arboretum Committee for work in wetlands for drainage corrections to be tabled till next month's meeting to provide the Arboretum Committee to the agency the drawings that they have shown us tonight and to provide an opportunity for individual commission members to view the site as they choose.
Would it be
I do a
helpful to
motion.
drop off a full-size plan?
No, we
Paper
do
plan?
this all electronically, Tom. So if you just send me the electronic drawings, that's fine. Unless
yeah.
unless you want for people to physically go out.
Well, that's what I sent. So I mean, I don't know why it didn't come through because this is what I sent you this plan. So I'll try again, and you have to let me know whether it comes through in a small format again.
Tom, your drawings are beautiful. The commission will love the drawings. They are beautiful.
Was there a motion, Marla?
Yes, that was a motion to table the application to
Second.
next month's meeting to provide the Arboretum Committee an opportunity to provide the detailed plans and individual commission members to go visit the site before the next meeting.
I second the motion.
Already seconded.
Oh,
Third.
you're
And we
too
have motion
fast.
by Marla Butt, seconded by Stuart Peasley to table application 06-26-01 for 523 Route 169, Town of Woodstock, Palmer Arboretum Committee till next month meeting for time to provide hard copies or electronic copies of the information tonight and for time for us to visit the site and anything else that Marla detailed in her motion. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, just one comment. Commission members should not talk to the Arboretum Commission members. They should just take the plans and walk out so that we don't have any ex parte communications.
Okay, any other comments, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, anybody abstain? So the motion passes. Okay, thank you very much for Arboretum people.
You.
Thank you for your time and attention, and please visit the Arboretum. It's a great place to visit.
Yep. Thank you. We're going to move on now to the next new application. Application 06-26-01, 02 lot 21-1, English Neighborhood Road, map 5169, lot 15, block 15, lot 21-1, Justin and Shannon Sherman, new single-family residence in Upland Review area. Is there anybody representing them tonight?
I do not see anybody that would be representing them. The plans were prepared by Killingly Engineering Associates. And it's work in a new single-family residence in an upland review area off of English Neighborhood Road. I've put the plan set on the screen. And if there are questions or follow-up necessary with the applicants, I am happy to reach out to the applicants or their representatives.
I'd just be curious as who's doing the logging there, because that's been going on for a number of years now. And where it's actually being done, because it's near the logs are brought close to English Neighborhood Road, kind of where the H is in that area of the neighborhood. Um, and whether that was ever came past us. And I don't know if Marla, you have any recollection of that?
I don't have any recollection.
Okay, because that's primarily that site is an open field. It's been tilled and corn planted over the years.
Well, the only thing that's an activity of concern is the septic system and the footing drain.
Mhm.
And that can
Yeah,
be
at the moment-
processed as a
moment,
wetlands
yeah.
agent approval.
Could you repeat that, Marla? It's what? The two things or?
Right here.
The only activity
Confirm.
subject to our jurisdiction is the construction of the septic system and the discharge from the footing drain.
Okay,
So that's, if you can see on the screen, right here is the limits of the upland review area. The house, the entirety of the house, the septic tank is outside the septic system itself. The galleries are proposed inside the upland review area, as is the roof leader leading to the footing drain over here in the upland review area. No work is proposed in the wetlands.
okay.
And also you have the NDDH design approval already. So I think this can be processed as a wetlands agent approval.
Wetland was one time was a beaver dam pond, and I believe it was 2005 when we had the big flooding everywhere that beaver dam broke and flooded North Woodstock extensively. Not been a pond since that time, but it was a standing body of water at one point. Not that that affects our decision, but just for historical information.
Yeah, but the wetlands delineation was March of this year.
Yeah, it's still wetlands there, but it's not a standing body of water anymore.
Mhm.
Do we, can we have a motion for that? Or you just want to
Yeah,
assign that?
I'll move that application 06-26-02, lot 21-1, English Neighborhood Road, map 5169, block 15, lot 21-1 by Justin and Shannon Sherman for the construction of a septic system and a footing drain for a new residential home to be constructed outside of the upland review area and not in wetlands or water courses.
Within
Be
the
processed
upland
as
review
a-
area.
Say
I'm
what?
sorry, Marla, I'm sorry. I thought you said outside the upland review area. It's within the upland review area, right?
No, the house is not.
Oh, the house. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were referring to the septic. Okay, thank you. I got
No,
it.
yeah, process the application for the construction of the septic system and the footing drain.
Yeah, for the house, which is outside. I got you.
Right.
Have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Motion by Marla Butts, seconded by Stuart Peasley to consider application 06-26-02 for Justin and Shannon Sherman as a wetlands agent approval.
To be processed as a wetlands
To
agent
be
approval.
processed as a wetlands agent approval. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed or abstain? The motion carries. Okay, let's move on now to uh, new application 07-26-01, 305 Crystal Pond Road, map 6385, block 39, lot 13, Crystal Pond Park for the towns of Woodstock and Eastford for shoreline stabilization. And I believe we had somebody here that would like to.
Yeah, I'm gonna apologize. I had received a Word document that didn't get into the meeting packet. All we have here is the application form, but I will I'll share the document. Elizabeth, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. What was I gonna say? I actually have all the photos and stuff like on my computer. Do you want me to just
Yeah,
screen
if
share?
you want to go ahead and share, that's great.
Yep, cool, because the order probably makes sense. Cool. I'm Elizabeth Murphy from the Crystal Pond Park Commission. I had submitted the applications. Let me just try and share my screen.
So while she is doing it, it's work on the causeway.
Yeah. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay. So this is, if you're not familiar with Crystal Pond Park, this is a causeway that was constructed sometime between 1934 when there was an aerial image and it wasn't there. In the 1970s. We have a commission member who was a Boy Scout during that time, and he said the causeway was present then. So it's, been maintained in various ways over the years. We are looking to kind of stabilize some sections that are eroded. I have better close-up photos for you, but I just kind of thought I'd talk you through the structure of it. So it kind of connects two sections of the park together. This section here is, you can see my cursor, right? I think, yeah. This section here is the lagoon. This side of the causeway is heavily vegetated. It's in good shape. There's actually a beaver dam right here. This side is on the lake side, and it gets lots of wave action, lots of like ice flows actually in the winter, so it tends to get more damage. The causeway is about 3 feet over the high water mark in certain sections, and then as you get up to the bridge area, it's about 6 feet high. And the height is such that like a kayaker or a canoeer can go under that bridge. So the area in question that we really want to focus on is around the bridge area. Okay.
Is that down by the I forget the name. Is it Napaco Park?
Yeah, it was Nahako Park. We changed it to Crystal Park. The town's changed the name officially. Nahako was Nathan Hale Council, which was the old Boy Scouts. Yeah. So the towns bought it in 2003, and I think it was 2017 that they changed the name. So pretty recently. But yeah, it's Camp Nahako. A lot of people call it. Yeah. So what we're applying for is just to install coir logs and really just stabilize this section. It definitely needs to be vegetated, and we're aware of that. It's just not a great time of year to, number one, source plants like bare root plants. So the goal is to install coir logs. So this is a south section. You can kind of see the bridge abutment, which was actually inspected by a mason, and he said the bridge abutment is still in good shape. We need to address the erosion soon, or it's probably not going to be because you're starting to get this section exposed under the frame of the bridge. So I would like to install coir logs, one larger one, so a 16-inch high one along the high water mark. This is actually summer sweet that has been somehow growing despite all the activity it gets. What we're seeing is people are actually using this as like a beach area. So we really want park goers to stay off the causeway edges, simply because a causeway is not designed to, be a high traffic bridge area. We need them to stay kind of on the paths. So we'd start at the water line with a coir log. And then the coir logs would continue up. So I envision probably 4 would fit here. I haven't done any drawing of putting them in because it's highly dependent on what I find as I kind of like dig and move some soil to actually nestle them into the causeway. This
Sorry,
is
man, interrupt. Sorry.
Yep.
I just have no experience with a core log.
Oh, okay. I actually can switch and show you a picture.
Oh.
So they look, they're like I say they're more sophisticated straw wattles. That's what I call them.
All right, yeah.
So like a straw wattle will degrade honestly in like a month or so, I've found. Yeah. A coir log has a lifespan of 3 to 5 years. So it's all coconut fibers. It's all natural. Yeah.
Okay.
The goal of them in shoreline restoration is to, if you install them, you actually get vegetation growing. You can actually plant inside of these too. So that would be a part of the long-term plan. But this is really just for installation. So this is the south side that we'd install some of these. They get installed with wooden stakes. So I will have to move dirt to actually get these installed and kind of helping stabilize the embankment there. Definitely the goal is to do everything minimally. I will only use a shovel. I have no heavy equipment. There won't be an excavator. I want to disturb as little as possible of the soil because, you know, there is some nice existing vegetation and I want to protect it because the goal is to get it to regrow. That's the south side. This is the north side. So this, the south side, I believe started collapsing around 2004. And then this section just started recently collapsing. So that we kind of envision the way it was built. It's been, the bridge abutment's actually been built out several times over the years. So this is actually still quite stable. So that's where I just want to get this area revegetated. I would like to install one coir log here. You'll see in a moment, so we want to do signage too, just basically to keep people off of these areas. Part of the problem is park goers will come, they'll actually move rocks, they throw the rocks into the water. So we really need signage to keep people off of this area, or otherwise we would lose the whole causeway eventually. These are two exposed areas as well. They're not compromised yet, but they possibly could be. This stone wall is in great shape. It's probably just 2 feet off the high water mark. I actually put in prairie drop seed and heath asters in here into some depressions that had formed, and this seems to be doing well. I would like to install this type of fencing. It's wood and metal. To keep people off there while we reestablish some vegetation. This is an area that I could plant summer sweet very easily, and it could get reestablished quite quickly. This area here is very, it's actually a steep slope, you can't tell, but a couple of plantings and we'd be able to address it now versus letting it get worse like the other sections of the causeway. This is just kind of ideas to give you like what I'm doing. I know I didn't give you an official drawing of anything, but this is a professional company that use the 16-inch coir logs. They double stack them high because there's huge waves. We don't need to, we don't have waves that large. This is like a Lake Michigan application, but a 16-inch one should be able to protect any vegetation that we're trying to grow from kind of wind and waves. And then those are the materials that we're using. So this is just, I had explained to John, this is really just phase one. I would like to come back to the commission and discuss reclaiming some of the materials that have gone into the lake over the years, especially this area under the south side of the causeway. There's just all of this sand has washed in. This used to be a 6-foot high embankment. I know you can bring in materials, but I prefer to just reclaim the materials that have fallen in because it's less addition of new materials to the lake. So yep, sorry.
Crystal Pond's tended by a dam.
It is, yep. So the Water level, the dam is opened on October 31st every year, and they draw it down at a rate of about 2 inches per week is the goal. And it gets down to a maximum of, I believe they're only dropping it to 25 inches now. They previously used to drop it to 30. If they have to do dam repairs, it can drop as much as 5 feet.
And the dam is located in Eastford?
The dam is in Eastford on the other side of the lake. Yep.
This is Still River that feeds into this, correct?
There are no rivers. There's only 5 inlets that actually flow into this pond. Otherwise, it is spring fed.
Oh, okay.
I actually oversee the water monitoring program for the Crystal Pond Association as well. So yeah, we test 5 of the inlets, which to be honest, typically don't flow for a good portion of the year. It's really rainstorms and runoff from properties when you start to see them flowing that we're actually able to sample them.
Stuart, you might consider this source water for the Still River.
Oh, source water. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
the
we're,
Still River doesn't flow into it, but the outflow is into the Still River.
yeah, so we're at the top. So I always say, because we're at the top of the food chain, we have to do as best as we can.
So for the retrieval of the material that has washed on this, you said the south side.
Yep.
Were you planning on that during drawdown?
During drawdown, yep. I would, to be honest, I just for my own comfort, I want to get the quarry logs installed, see what I'm working with, and kind of wait until drawdown is to see, what rocks are there. This is actually like essentially all the rocks that we're building up the 6-foot wall are all sitting there kind of in the sand.
So I'm wondering if you're kind of putting the cart before the horse, because if you want to retrieve material, you'd be driving over the Coy. So I would think that you'd wait till drawdown, retrieve your material, and then install your Coy after you've retrieved the material.
I do everything by hand, so there's gonna be no driving. Yeah.
Oh, so the material that you retrieve will be done manually?
Yeah, by shovel. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, there's a pretty healthy freshwater mussel population. So honestly, in my view, the only way to know that you're not killing a lot of mussels is hand shoveling, kind of visual inspection as you go. So, and doing it very slowly. I live on the Eastford side of the lake, and I reclaim beach sand from a beach that was there when I bought the property. So I kind of have some experience with this.
So, Bill, I have a little bit of a problem because the document was not part of the application that was given us to notice, but we have seen it. John, is this in the file?
It's on my computer and on Tracy's computer. This application, Elizabeth had submitted the application relatively late. I think it was on Thursday itself.
Yeah.
And I think we Tracy posted the application and did not include the attachment, but I do have a copy of that attachment. I saw it on my computer.
Okay, so I noticed that the application was not dated, nor was there a date stamp of when it was received. So I would like the date identified for both of those on what's filed in the documents for the commission.
That will be updated.
I would recommend, I think it's a great presentation, just as an aside. Is that PowerPoint?
I use Canva, actually. I don't use, I use Canva.
No, I don't have any.
It's free. Okay. I use it for Crystal Pond Association presentations and stuff. Yeah, just go to canva.com and you can make your own. They have like a template and you can create your own.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah, that sounds good.
It's
way
easier point. Yeah.
What I would recommend, Elizabeth, is maybe you could add a locus map to that and just give us an overall overview. Overall overview is redundant, but just something that we can see a locus, get an idea for where north is, and
Okay.
it would just be a better presentation. It's very nice the way it is, but it would give us more orientation.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
You could generate a map from the GIS program.
Okay.
And it'll show the causeway. It'll give you the scale.
Okay.
The title to it.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
There's no confusion as to where you're. Although I can't see where any place else looks like a causeway.
Yeah.
What is your timeline?
So I would like to do the Coir. I have all the Coir logs and material, so I would like to do that over the next couple of weekends. The sooner the better, just simply because it's getting a lot of use this time of year. And then reclaiming materials, I would come back to the commission. To be honest, I'd report kind of how it went with the installation. Come back to you guys late fall probably. So yeah, I would be moving very minimal materials at all. Just if there's a rock in the way and I need to, kind of stabilize a Coir log, then I would move it. But the goal is really to rebuild the natural shoreline.
It's all done manually.
All manually. Yep.
Yeah.
By you?
By me.
Just by you?
Believe it or not, yes.
Wow.
I mean, unless someone wants to help. I came here in the fall for the Phragmites, and that went really well. So I have to move on to another project.
You came before the IWA. Yeah, I thought it sounded familiar. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's almost gone. I can't believe how well it worked. So, yeah.
How would you move the rocks?
Oh, by hand.
Picks them up and carries them from one place to another. Yeah, old-fashioned way.
Yeah. I've done on my own property, I've done a lot of like rain garden building and terracing and stuff. And you just kind of roll them. And then if they're too big, they stay where they are.
So you're not confined by the planting time, because we're not in the planting time.
Exactly. The only so I do all bare root planting. I think it thrives better, it grows better, and then you're not introducing foreign soil. So I can only get like elderberry, I think, in the fall. And I want to use 9 bark as well. So it's harder to source bare root plants in the fall. Spring's usually the time. Yeah.
But I'm thinking as a temporary vegetative cover, if you're going to have some kind of grass, that you wouldn't be planting that anyways until I think the first seeding dates are mid-August.
Yeah. I wouldn't do grass. The jute matting is what I would do. So it's 4 feet wide. So it'll actually go over any of the exposed soil. It's a giant roll of jute matting, basically. So it'll get tacked in there as well over all the exposed soil right now. And then I can actually plant directly into it as I'm able to source plants. Yeah.
So that would be your temporary erosion control, would be the jute matting.
Yep, exactly.
And that would go down before or after you put the koi?
Before, because kind of the core log would sit on top of it. I do have some metal stakes that can be used, but I'd rather not put metal in there because then I'm gonna have to find it in the spring. So yep. You can hold it down pretty well with if I have like a rock or something, I'd probably put it on top so it's not, but yeah, I'll secure it so it doesn't end up in the lake.
So how many pages did you just show us?
This is a slide deck of 6 pages. I just did all the photos of it. The Word doc was a little bit different. It didn't have all the photos. So.
And those were all submitted?
Yep. I had all the photos that you had, I believe, were submitted. The examples didn't, just kind of to visualize. I'd done those, and then I had sent links to the materials, but I showed pictures today.
How much work is actually in the water course?
Very little. It's just going to be that one 16-inch coir log right at the high water mark too. This is the best time of year to do it at the high water mark, simply because the water level is we're about I think half meter below normal right now, or about probably about a foot below normal high water mark.
So, Bill, I'm thinking that this could be processed as a jurisdictional ruling, conservation of soil and water, providing the documents that we were shown tonight, as well as the Word document, be made part of the file for the installation of the koi logs. I don't know how other people feel.
Fine, to me. I don't know about anybody else.
Sounds fine. I think it's common sense. I would just recommend that she look up Archimedes and how to move rocks.
You're not the first person to tell me that.
Well, if no one has an objection, then I would like to make a motion. So I would move that application 07-26-01, 305 Crystal Pond Road, map 6385, block 39, lot 13, by the Crystal Pond Park for shoreline stabilization as described in tonight's meeting be approved as a non-regulated use under conservation of soil and water, as the proposed work does not alter the natural or indigenous character of the wetland, of the watercourse.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Marla Butts, seconded by Kathy Barrick, to
Approve as
approve
a
application
non-regulated use.
07-26-01 for Crystal Pond Park for shoreline stabilization. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Nice presentation.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next new application, or under new application, application 07-26-02, lot 06B, Route 169, map 5167, block 12, lot 06B, Carissa and Lee Emons, revised driveway location for new single-family residence in the Upland Review area.
So I'll turn it over to the applicant shortly. This was a follow-up on a wetlands complaint that was presented to the office of the construction of the driveway in a different location from what was approved by the Wetlands Commission a couple of years ago. Where on the screen the original driveway was shown over here to the north. This is on the west side of Route 169 in North Woodstock. And the driveway was actually being constructed a little bit to the south in sort of a broader sweep, activity in the Upland Review area. And I believe crossing the wetlands in approximately the same spot that was approved, but the activity in the Upland Review area, including grading, was different. So we followed up with the developer, Morris Lewis, and his engineering firm, Archer KWP Associates, and they submitted late last week a revised an application for revision of approved activity, and I'll turn it over to them.
Before we do that, please show the application form. So there is no permit approval number or date issued on this request form? Do we have that number?
We do. I could also pull it from my email. I had this conversation with Tracy when we were setting this up.
Yeah, why did it get a new number? It's modifying an existing permit.
Well, it's a new form. Let me see.
Looking for the original number,
The original number,
10-24-48.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, that file has got issues. It's got four
What do you
copies.
mean?
It's got 4 copies of everything in there, and the pages are all mixed up.
The physical file?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the online one.
Oh, okay.
It's like 60 gigabytes or something. It should be like 15.
Well, the one I have only has 4.
No, that's the revised. Did we put? Well, actually, did we put the original application in there? Yeah, we had done that.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, Marla, the original approval is on the website for this meeting. If you can see it here, it's 10-24-48 is the application number. So you have the new application and you have the old application, both available to you.
That was the W Investments, Morris Lewis.
Correct.
All right, the 60.13 megabytes. It should be closer to 15.
Yeah, we also have, I believe, this form, this was the original application form for
Yep.
there was a modification. There was the original was 10-24-48. Then there was a 10-24-48 modified, and now this one, which is nearly 2 years hence.
The modified was probably to add the garage.
Yeah, they changed the location. Remember they had to move it?
The garage,
Yes.
they had to add it because it was required in the deed or something like that.
Yep. Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, I don't know if you want to turn it over to the applicant or the representative at this point, unless they're
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Again, this is Dave Smith, professional engineer, land surveyor, working with Paul Archer's office. So I think that there's a couple of places where communication had broken down. Mr. Lewis and his people kind of took the ball and ran with it after we got our original approval with that driveway. Massachusetts contractor failed to get encroachment permits into the DOT. When they finally saw what was happening out there, they insisted that the driveway needed to have improved sight lines and a much more gentle approach to and from the road, similar to the application we heard earlier tonight. They want to have people the opportunity to have a safe landing pad when they're exiting or entering onto state roads. The current driveway, as it's constructed, is about 100 feet south of that utility pole that's shown on this plan, dead center in the frontage. The drawing was modified to the extent that instead of climbing straight up the hill, we veered it into that curve and then diagonally across the slope to that point of entry. Everything regarding the home, the septic system, the culvert, the prepared bed and riprap shoulders where the driveway is unchanged from the original application. So when John or the complaint came in, it was clear that no one in the Woodstock organization had seen this modified plan, so I forwarded it over directly. We have not been directly involved in the stakeout or any as-built of that driveway, but I did make a visual inspection last week, and it appears as though they have got that silt fence in down adjacent to the wetlands, that the location appears to be consistent with the way this rendering shows it. And, I can't speak to exactly what the final grades are or anything like that, but this was modified as a result of permitting process that the DOT required.
This is Bill Rowinski. Does that mean that the DOT has approved this encroachment?
I believe they have, but I don't know that for sure. It's very large and bold and sits right up there for God and everyone to see. So I suspect that if they had issue with it, this particular plan, if you look down in the lower right-hand corner, there's a revision date. I think it was only a few months after your original approval, and that was a year plus ago. So there's been plenty of opportunity for someone to. It's Paul's office's policy to provide these things to the client and allow them to submit them to the towns and other regulatory agencies. I think with the exception of like initial health department approvals, the clients usually hand carry them forward. So.
Dave, who was the contractor, the out-of-state contractor?
I don't know, Marla. I spoke to someone the other day about the septic system. I think he's a site contractor, but we've been sort of not hands off, but very peripheral on this. We got the applications approved, the paperwork ready, and then that's kind of where our involvement stopped.
John, do we have the name of the contractor?
I would have to look through the entirety of the file, but and it may be with the zoning or building file.
Yeah,
it wouldn't necessarily be here.
Was a notice of violation issued for this?
Yes.
Was there a paperwork on the modification for the garage?
Zoning or wetlands?
No, inland wetlands.
Yeah, so that was application what it was let me back up. That was 10.
That was the first modification.
That was 10/24/48M.
Yeah, so there should have been
this one.
A document associated with this file.
This
Copies
is a garage
of
edition is
the
required.
notice of violation and the prior modification should be included in the file for this. When the notice of violation was issued, who was it issued to?
To the property owner, which hang on. I used the GIS and verified it through the assessor's office. I'll pull it up.
Were they the original applicants? Let's see. No, the original applicant was Morris C. Lewis, New Home Concepts, LLC.
Right.
That
And
permit was never transferred, was it?
so this would be this property right here. It is, oh no, I'm sorry. That's Eman's. Yeah, that's this one. Carissa and Lee Emans. It was sent to the Emans. And then Morris Lewis submitted the revised application.
Okay,
I
so
believe he's still involved in the various general contracting services.
so who is the applicant here?
The applicant's the permittee / owner's name on the form is listed as Morris Lewis / Carissa and Lee Emans.
Okay, Mark Lewis. Let's see if he. Yep. No, it was Morris Lewis.
Morris. Yeah.
New Home Concepts LLC. And it was issued to Morris Lewis and W Investments LLC, the permit.
Right.
So Morris Lewis. So Christina and Lee have nothing to
Carissa.
do. That permit was not transferred to them. It only goes to Morris Lewis. He is the permit holder. Unlike zoning permits, wetlands approvals do not run with the land, they run with the individual. So,
Individual owner.
no, whoever obtained the permit.
Okay.
You don't have to be the owner of the land to obtain a wetlands watercourse permit.
Well, in this
You could
case,
be
we
a
do have
contractor.
in this case we
Okay.
do have Mr. Lewis's signature on both the previous and current applications.
Got it. I see it here. What we don't have on there is the application number and the date of issuance.
Okay.
So let me understand this. He's just the contractor. He's not the owner. Morris West.
Not the owner now. But he owns the permit. Do you see the difference, Stu?
Yeah. If he filed a permit, he's the applicant of record.
Mm-hmm. And he has a liability for ensuring that the work is done correctly.
Which ideally is why he's in front of us right now.
Right, but I also would like to know who the contractor was, because the contractor should be put on notice for future reference. You know, you want to change what's approved, you should come in ahead of time.
That's something I can find out from Mr. Lewis.
Well, I've driven by the site and I haven't seen a problem with having the driveway at this location from a wetlands watercourse point of view. My only concern is that we have a contractor who goes ahead and does things without seeking approvals first.
All right. What can you do in a case like that? I mean, if he just keeps on doing things, I mean,
There are a number of
it's an enforcement matter
actions
initially,
that could be taken. You could look at issuing a citation with a fine for a contractor. If you have proof that they're the ones that did the work, that becomes a little more difficult. You could issue other enforcement action, like a notice of violation or a cease and desist order if they continue doing work on this property or going and doing on somebody else's property, causing a real environmental problem. You know, there are other options. But I don't have a problem with modifying this permit as long as it only goes to Mr. Lewis and not to the current property owners, because they don't own the permit.
right.
How does anybody else feel?
Procedurally, Marla, would you be able to act on the modification immediately, or do you need to give it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would only be for Mr. Lewis.
Right. Okay.
They would be the only one whose name is on any document modifying the permit. Now, if Mr. Lewis wants to transfer the permit to the current property owners, he could do that.
Right.
Come and file the form for transferring the permit.
Do we know if he's still involved, or was he just?
Is. He was the one. He's the one I've been in primarily contact with. Obviously, we've been circling back with Archer and KWP on getting the revised plans. But my primary point of contact and the person who actually filled out and signed the application was Morris Lewis.
Okay.
And he was the one who contacted our office to ensure that this stuff was available to you.
I have not had any direct contact with the EMANs. So I'm happy to continue that with Mr. Lewis as we proceed, if we proceed.
So I could make a motion to approve the second modification to permit 10-24-48 for the relocation of the driveway in the upland review area. If nobody has any objection to that, then I will make that motion.
What was the number, Marla?
10-24-48.
Correct. And it's the second modification
Right.
to
Second.
that permit.
So that's the 5 megabyte.
Yes. It would be, well, yeah, I think yeah, we can put it both ways. It's the 10-24-48M was the first modification, so we could say M2 or whatever. I mean, it'll be clear in the correspondence.
Are you looking for a second?
No, I haven't made the motion yet. I just wanted to see what your feeling was.
I thought that was a motion.
He was hoping.
No, I want it to be really clear for the recording secretary.
Amen.
Thank you, Marla.
You're welcome, Dan.
Oh,
So
here
I will
go ahead.
I will move to approve a second modification to permit 10-24-48, also known as file number 07-26-22, lot 06B, Route 169, map 5167, block 12, lot 06B, issued to
Would be Morris Lewis.
Morris Lewis for the relocation of a driveway in the upland review area for a new single-family home.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion by Marla Butt, seconded by Stuart Peasley, to approve a second modification to application 10-24-48, and file reference is 0726-02. The exact wording will have to be derived from the recording. Second by Stuart Peasley, does anybody have any other questions or comments about this? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes.
Thank you all very much.
Welcome, thank you.
Okay. Have a lovely evening.
Have a
You
good
too.
evening.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, moving on, administrative business, agent report.
So I submitted my agent report. It's in the file. Obviously covered the application activity. There was a lot of the burst of activity, the Palmer Arboretum, the Crystal Pond Road, and the most recent one, the driveway location, all came in fairly late in the week last week. So it was a little bit of a application crush. I was also following up with a complaint about activity at 1336 Route 169, which is immediately to the north of the Morris Lewis property. There's an excavator on property. There's clearly some logging that was done, some grading. I issued a request for compliance to that complaint. We sent it both standard mail and certified mail. They came back undelivered, or certainly the certified letter was unsigned. It was returned. We are now proceeding to have it served officially by a judicial marshal because we have no indication that they received this communication from the town. So it's a little bit more complicated, but we're going to let them know of the activity is not authorized. I had gotten another complaint about some potential unauthorized activity in the Upland Review area on Quasit Lake, specifically 136 West Quasit Road. It was in communication with that property owner who had lots of documentation showing me some before and after pictures. It was just some invasive brush clearing in the Upland Review area. Nothing equipment, no regrading, no unauthorized activity. And so that was, it was, for maintenance of the landscape. There was no, in my investigation, no violation there. Otherwise, the sort of the standard communications. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I got a request.
Okay.
On Route 171.
Yes.
There is a pond at 9 Bassett Hill Road.
Yes.
By Pratt.
Yes.
That was a permit that was issued on June 1st, 2020. And it was it was received June 1st, 2020, and it was approved July 13th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that work had already gotten done, and I noticed that the pond was dredged out. They're working on it.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, has the permit expired?
Well, is this the one by Sprucedale?
Yes.
Across the street, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Josh Pratt. I've been in touch with him. To the best of my understanding, that hasn't, and because work has been continuing, he had been doing some work, then stopped and continued to do work. He'd been in touch with me, and actually, I'd mentioned this on the last, I believe, 3 inland wetlands agent reports that I've been in touch with Mr. Pratt about the work that was being done there. And to the best of my understanding, his permit, his activity had been continuing, and the permit had not expired.
So how long was the permit good for?
I'll have to check the file in the office.
I'd like to see what the original
Yeah.
scope of work was, because it is a massive project. I would think that it must have been amended at some point, or it should have been, because
it was a combination of drawdowns and stabilization, and then his reconstruction of a bridge
Causeway.
across the causeway. That work,
I think it was a 4-bay actually.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. But that work has, we went through it. And he was showing me how he's been proceeding. Did not raise
a lot of earth moving.
Yeah,
a lot of earth moving.
That's not the question that I'm raising.
You have a question about the permit timeframe,
right? Because it's been 6 years, and typically permits are good for 5, but can be granted an extension up to 5 more. But there were during COVID and before COVID, there were statutory changes which extended the length of permits.
The outer side of it, yes. Right.
But you
then
had
you
to
still
be
need
within
to,
the window period of
Mhm.
those public acts that extended that permit. And I don't know when the last amendment to the statute was that granted applicants or permittees 14 years for certain things.
Mhm.
And then it reverted back to 5 after that passed. And I don't know what the timelines were.
Yeah, it was 5 plus 5 plus 4, and actually after COVID was another 5 for certain wetlands permits and site plans. So it actually, in certain cases, could be up to 19 years.
Right. But you got to get extensions.
Yes, right. So yeah, I will follow up with him and just make sure that we have the time frame on his permits.
Yeah, because he may have
Mhm.
14 years to do it as opposed to 5.
Right.
Anybody after that time only gets 5. It wasn't continuous forever that applicants get 14 years. You had to meet certain conditions.
Yep.
So
Yeah, so I will get that to you.
and could you email to us the Arnold Arboretum? Not Arnold.
Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that Tom Swale sent me was a fragment of that drawing. That, I mean, you can see that in the PDF that was uploaded. I'll get the full thing from him and forward it around.
Just email it, yeah, so we can take a look at it in the
Yeah,
meantime.
of course. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody have any questions for John? Okay, correspondence. Do we have any correspondence?
There was no correspondence.
Financial report.
I'll put it up on screen. I don't know if there's anything to it.
There's not much of anything that's
We're still broke, huh?
no, we actually finished out with money, I believe, but
Wow. How did that happen?
Yeah, you finished out with $715.20. So
Wow.
so
congratulations.
we do have that's excess in the budget from the budget, but we just want to be wary of that in the future, that if we do that and keep doing it, we could end up with less budget. So that's why I want to see where we can, at least the dues and conference is maxed out.
You know, Bill, I'm not worried about our budget. I'm worried about the staff time budget. The amount of money that we're getting to pay for sufficient hours for staff time. Right now, John is doing 3 jobs: planner, zoning enforcement officer, and wetlands agent. And frankly, I don't see how he can do all 3 of those effectively. So errors happen when you don't have enough time to work on things, when you're pushed and pulled from all these other directions. And they've given John a lot.
I'd frankly like to see more time for Tracy myself, but
well, tonight we had a couple issues. We had a permit modification with no permit number or date of permit issuance. We had an application received with no date on the application form when it was received. There's no stamp dates showing up on the application forms as to when they were received in the office. I mean, to me, I think that's because you just got so many things to do, you can't check everything. Now, I've met with Tracy once to try to talk about some of the things, but she's pretty limited in what she can do. So I don't know. Can't hear you, Bill.
I have to agree with you, but John is very talented, and
I agree.
I don't think I don't think that's an excuse for not having more support. But I don't know how he does it. he's just pretty amazing about it. So it's got to be a big problem if John relinquishes some or all of that role, because there's no one person that's going to be able to do that.
So
And I don't think there's one
isn't the
person that
issue
can do it now.
isn't the issue the budget and what's going to happen to that $700? We want to make sure that we put that in as a placeholder.
I think those are different issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Staffing comes from the selectman's office, not on our budget. See, they stripped it out of our budget.
That was sneaky.
Well, it happened when they lost the building inspector, who was the wetlands agent. It was under his budget.
I just think we should anticipate properly. Whatever we need to do, we've got to have a strategy, or else we're going to be surprised, and that's not good. How do we avoid that and maintain if we need more, then we've got to ask, we've got to make a request and back it up.
Well, one of the things Tracy should be doing a little bit more, have more responsibility. Like, she should check the application forms, and if there's stuff missing when people bring it in, she should be telling them, you've got to have this, you got to have that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, the commission may not act on your application. But right now that goes to John.
Right. And so these, as I said, a couple of these applications literally came in on Thursday midday. Tracy is there in the mornings.
Yeah.
So she had essentially a half an hour or so to get stuff posted to the website. Yeah. I mean, applicants, it's obviously ideal if applicants give us a lot more time so we can upload things and fill in blanks and things like that. But they submit something within minutes of Tracy basically running out of time for the week, and then the town hall is closed on Friday, and here we are on Monday and we have the meetings. But yeah, it's statutorily people can submit, and obviously if things are incomplete, as you know, Marla, then you're under no obligation to act upon it, certainly. And it's annoying, but yeah,
we don't always have to act. We can say we're tabling this to the next meeting.
Right, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. If the application if application materials are not provided, or in the case of Morris Lewis, if he didn't list the prior permit number, it was a little bit, to be frank, a little bit of coaching and pulling teeth to get him to submit, and to basically say, listen, we're meeting on Monday. If you're not submitted, you're another month out, and we can look at fines and things like that. So we're coaching people along.
Maybe Tracy's hours should be adjusted so she's here later on Thursdays if things coming in.
Again, I think more hours available for Tracy would be a good thing.
Anyways, enough said.
And it just as a, this is non-budgetary, but just to follow up, I received while we're sitting here the email from Tom Swale with the attachments for the Palmer Arboretum. Those have just gone out in email to all of you. So you should have those in your inboxes very shortly.
Yeah, I already got it. Okay. I don't want to get heavy into the applications now. There are a few details that I came up with. So we can try to nail that down next time. Maybe I'll send the corrections around. Do you have anything else to say about the Butt Roads Bridge?
I do not, Marla.
I took a look at the plans, the revised plans, and I gave my comments back. Everything that I had commented on was pretty well addressed. I'm expecting us to see a new, sequence of construction, the septic, relocation details, a water handling plan, and that'll all come from the contractor, I suspect.
When did that come out? The Butts Road Bridge discussion and updates?
Yes,
What do you mean?
that's the agenda item we're on, Stu, if that's your
Yeah,
question.
but what Marla was referring to, where did you see that?
You
Well, I
probably did.
had made,
Oh, and
after
those are,
we
yeah,
rendered a decision,
those were forwarded. Those are being forwarded directly, I believe, to Marla from the first selectman and the contractors.
after we rendered our decision on the application, I asked to meet with the first selectman. Bill and I met with him, and there, subsequent to that, there was a meeting with Pete Parent and Bill. I think you were there.
Yep.
And John, I don't know if you were there. I don't think you were there.
I was not.
And Parent supplied revised drawings based upon the comments that I had given to the first selectman, that I found problems with some of the language in the plans, inconsistencies and that kind of thing. So Pete was correcting all of those, and I commented back on those to identify what parts had been taken care of and what hadn't been. Pretty much everything was taken care of. So certain words were used wrong. Like trying to think of one of them. A temporary sediment basin versus a pumping settling basin. You know, they're different things. There was a couple of places where they referenced DOT form. I think it was the 819, which was issued in 1 year, and then there was an 818, which was issued another year. So you want to use the same standard all the time. You don't want to use two different standards. So those kinds of things that were fixed. And I didn't know if they were going to move forward this season. They were going to try to. Apparently the sewer line got redesigned. And I presume when the contractor comes in to do the sequence of construction, water handling plan, and how he's going to do the temporary sewer relocation, that was all part of the conditions of the approval, if you recall. So we'll see it again. Just waiting for that. I don't know where that project stands. I also suggested to the first selectman that he has one or two more bridges that are going to be coming through in the future, and I suggested that you submit it to the agency in a preliminary form so that we can provide comment ahead of time to address some of the things that we saw, so that when it does come before us in a final form, some of those minor issues will be resolved ahead of time.
Oh, Bill, just so you know, there are things happening in the background that were just kind of somewhat administrative, but not totally. That were follow-ups because we gave a conditional approval. So just trying to work out some of those details on what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. That was done primarily by me with input from Marla. Hey, is there any citizens who would like to comment at this point? All right, then unless there's any other business.
Question.
Yep.
You had one time talked about doing a special meeting regarding the application forms. Have you given it any further thought on that? Because I did meet with Brian Golombiewski regarding the DEP reporting form.
Yep.
He thought it was posted on the web. It was not. And I was finally sent a link to get to it. So I did have a chance to look at it and I reviewed it. and I have given them comments back. Some of the stuff, one of the things I thought that was missing was the length of watercourse culverting, which they didn't ask that question. But all the other questions were similar to the original reporting form. I did ask them if there was a way that they could link location information that could be downloaded from the town's GIS, if they could share the coding, so that if somebody wanted to fill out an application form and they needed certain information for the reporting form, that they just click on a link that sends them to where they need, that autofills the reporting form. They were going to look into that, and I haven't heard anything from them on that yet.
Probably too
So,
sophisticated. for
did
the
you
program.
want to consider going in a separate meeting, a special meeting, to talk about the application forms rather than doing it at a regular meeting?
I came up with looking at them. I mean, there's also, first of all, the general question is of whether we want to take a different direction with these. That would have to be answered. And then but if this direction is okay, there's just minor edits, as far as I'm concerned, to what we have already. Summer's a good time to do this, but
Well, the best
it needs to
time,
get
I think,
wrapped
is in the winter time when there's not a lot of business, but I
No, it
think
didn't
a
look-
in-person meeting would be better.
Yeah.
John, is that something you would want to be involved with also?
Sure, if we can find a time that everyone's available and I'm available, that would be fine.
A lot of things in other places, so I think.
I won't be here for the October meeting.
I don't know, Mr. Chair, do you want me to
Yep.
just send around some options? You know, maybe 4 or 5 options where I would have availability in the evening, or do you want to, if you want to do it in the evening? I don't know if you want to do it if people have availability during the day. That's fine too.
I don't have availability during the day, so.
Okay. Yep.
It would have to be after like 4:15 to do it during the day, so. And don't know, I'm gonna be away probably a week in late August or September, and that's kind of up in the air, so if you can suggest some dates that would fit for you, then we could try to work around that.
Okay, I'll send around an email to folks, or sort of a calendar, selector app as an option. Sure, I can do that. I'll do that. We'll send that out a little bit later this week.
Okay, that would be great. Okay, is there any other business that anybody would like to discuss? Then I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn. Stuart Peasley.
I'll second it.
Yay.
Motion by Stuart Peasley to adjourn, seconded by Grace Letty. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, then the motion passes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, John. Thank you.